Hey everybody, it's Vicki. I just sat here and decided I felt like documenting this process in case it works. I can't tell you how many curveballs I throw myself, and this is one of them. I somehow have this drive to create a realistic looking watercolor or portrait in watercolor. So that involves being able to make smooth transitions of color while still remembering how to make the face turn this way, that way, all the little balls that turn and this way and that way. Normally what I do, or most of the time what I do, is I will draw little tick marks to make a tic-tac-toe that's even all the way around. So in other words, if this is 11, then I divide that by 3 and I make my tick mark. And that's 16, so I divide it by 5. I divide it by 3 and I get 5. Now where that point intersects is where I decide I want my focal point, such as it were, and trying to remember that it's watercolor, so I need a little more air around the head. Now this one ended up being just a little bit big, but I got the eye where I wanted it and went from there. And once I get my eye in, then I pretty well measure from the eye to other parts of the face. And I use an iPad or a computer, and I pull this up on the screen, and I get that screen shot to be the exact same size as what I want to paint. So in other words, if that eye measures, this mat board won't do it. Anyway, if this eye measures from here to here at 1 inch, then the picture on my screen, if I held a ruler up to it, would measure 1 inch. So from there I can measure back and forth, and from my grids, I even have a transparent grid that I can pop on top of that picture that matches these measurements. So that's one way I work. And once I've got a pretty good drawing, I just go for it. Now this is one in my new series, Ladies of Color, and this one was going to be yellow. But then I started painting on it, and the yellows didn't have a dark enough yellow, although I may rethink that. I don't know. Who knows what I'm going to do. But Randy came in last night. Well, back up a minute. Then another way that I work, especially in oil, is I will print I started to say laser print, but inkjet works too. Print a print of just the face, that's all you need, of actual size. So now I've got a computer screen that's the same size. I've got the paper that I want to draw on marked off. I've got those marks on the screen. So I'm set if I pay attention and don't get in a real big hurry, which I do. But some of these colors just kind of turned brown on me, and and I had, well, the first time I started painting it, I had her nose down here. So I thought, well, this one's pretty much done anyway. I don't think I'm going to be able to use it. But I did see if I could erase the nose and the mouth, and these lifted pretty good. In watercolor now, you take a brush and wet it. And not one of your good Kolinskis, but what you do is get it wet. I'll show you right here. Get it wet, let it sit for a minute. Put your brush on it. Pull it up. Didn't get much. It's better if you don't scrub it. See, we picked up some right there. You can see it. This causes the least damage to the paper, and it's a way to get your color variations, or from one dark color to the next value, to get your values smoothed out a little bit. Okay, so that's what you do. And surprisingly, I was able to lift. The mouth was down here and the nose was right here. She was freaky looking. So anyway, I did kind of get that fixed. But Randy came in last night and he said, "Are you trying to make a likeness of that face?" And I went, "Yeah." And he said, "You failed." I thought, "Well, thank you." So today I took my printout and I folded the paper in half, trying to aim for her nose, which I missed. Let's do that again. Come on now. Alright, let's get serious here. Now I want my paper completely square to the world, and I want it on her nose. Center of her nose. That's pretty close. Could be a little bit. I know, I'm anal. We're not going to talk about that. Out of this craziness will come, that's not good. Seeing by now I've got so many fold lines. I'll tell you what we can do. Here's what we're going to do. Well, that... Okay, we want it in the middle of her nose. We want it in the middle of the mouth. Right here. And we want it right between the eyes. Right there. And then we're going to take... a pen. Alright, good enough. See, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to go back and do this stuff. But I am pretty much making this up as I go along. Okay. My fold line is vertical half, okay? It's square to the paper and square to the world. However, her head is tilted to the side, which means that her whole head tilts. I have a little bit of trouble with that, which is why we're practicing it now. Trying to find a way to train my brain to see what I want it to see. Okay, so if I come under here, actually I need my T-square, or a T-square. And I've told you guys this before, when you are doing a face, almost always, and I'm not going to say never, never, ever, never, because you'll prove me wrong. See, and I've got that line drawn wrong, even though I tried. This area right between the nose and the eyes will always remain perfectly perpendicular to each other. I don't care if the head tilts this way or this way, it always stays perpendicular. So the first thing we're going to do is get that line perpendicular. I could always print another one of these if I need to. Oh, except I forgot we're almost out of toner. Alright. Go to the big guns. How about a red? Okay, we want to be here. If you really want to, let's measure where we want to be. So it's an inch. Not quite an inch, so not quite a half. So it'll be right there. You bored yet? Come on, you're bored, I can tell. Okay. Now, there's our new line. Now what we got to do is draw our sideways lines perpendicular to that, to this line, not this line, because it might be off. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go right at the bottom of the white part. No, where are we going to go? We're going to go right in the middle of this little tear duct right here. And I'm going to line that up and draw another line. And line it up with the vertical. I'm cheating just a little. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Okay. Do the same thing under the nose. That's not exactly under her. I put it under the little flanges of the nose, okay? Because the middle part of her nose comes down a little bit more. Alright, let's go for... Let's go for the top of the lip. Oops, top of the lip. And we're going to go bottom of the lip. Okay, now we're going to go bottom of the chin. I don't know why I was avoiding coming in my office. I think because I just love sitting in my chair and I got hooked on TV during the election. And let's do some more verticals just for grins since we're doing... How am I going to do this? These things always just drive me bonkers. Vertical. What are you doing? I want to key off. Well, I guess we can key off of that since we are pretty sure that we did it right. Let's key off of that. Now again, this is all perpendicular to each other. All perpendicular on that line. And when you learn how to train your brain, you can learn how to hold your pencil to your painting like this. Let it hang free, and you can give yourself an idea of where that lines up. But since we're learning, we're going to do it this way. So I'm going to do it here to the corner of the mouth. Now this is how you do, if you've got to do something if you want a likeness. And I don't care if you can do it by yourself or if you need a tool. And this is a tool, okay? I've done this on the computer before. And then you're still left with the problems of how to get the paint on there, but we're not going to talk about that right now. That was the corner of the eye coming down. Okay, are there any other trademark lines you want? Let's see what we got here. Now the eye, let's go from the very corner to the white eyeball. All you're trying to do is find something you can remember what you measured. The nose is typically, and that's typically, 1 eye width wide. Her nose is a little bit wider. It's also typically 1 eye between. Hers is a little bit wider. Whoops. And the other eye is real close to the same. I'm thinking. Oh, we didn't draw a line. Let me draw that last. Should have a T-square out. This will make you start tracing, won't it? Okay, the thing that's bothering me is that we've got my red line is pretty good until we get to here, and then it's off a little bit. See, those are the same. Those are the same. That to the center, see, is not the same. Alright. Now, theory being, like I said, tracing looks real good at this point. I don't want to trace. It's not enough of a challenge. So if I come over here, and I had already started to do this, I put some real light lines that lined up to the angle. You can tell this is where I need practice, right? See it this way. See how much her head is tilted? Quite a bit, about 1/2 inch maybe. But now we want to let's see, we want the eye right here. And pencil, pencil, pencil. Why is it that you always pick up the ones without any lead? There's a pencil. If I can get this close, I'll be happy. Because then I've still got the challenge of getting the color on there. So this piece may end up with pastel or something on it. Sure don't want to waste a pretty piece of paper. I'm gonna stand up, damn it. That's why I like working in my chair. Okay, I forgot that I promised you a rose garden, a video, but I think this method is going to work for me for now. It's just another tool. You're just trying to train your brain and your hand, or your hand-eye coordination, to draw what you see. So, call it cheating, call it whatever you want to call it. I call it being anal. But, you know, if you're doing caricatures or illustration work, it's not that important if her nose is this long, or if one eye tilts and the other one doesn't. But I have this thing for realism, and until I can break that, you're stuck with what you got. So, there's that.